We're looking at the ETS 022 Practice Math Gaze Test, question 30, and it's asking you which of the following is equivalent to that expression. This expression is just a fraction plus a fraction. Don't get distracted by all the algebraic expressions. It's just the same as if you had something like 2/3 plus 7/5. The first thing you would have to do is get common denominators. And to do that, you ask yourself, what does this denominator have down here in terms of factors that the other one doesn't? And that answer is a 5. So if you multiply by 5 over 5, which is equivalent to 1, you can have a 15 as a common denominator. Similarly, now we look at the other one. What does the other matrix have that this one doesn't? And the answer to that is a 3 as a factor. So if you multiply by 3 over 3, you will get also a 15 denominator. And so you would end up with 15 over 10 plus 21, which once you have a common denominator, you know how to simplify the numerator. So with that in mind, we're going to look at this question and we're going to ask ourselves on the left-hand side, I've got an x minus 3 as a denominator. What does the other denominator have as a factor that this one doesn't? And it would full on be the 3x plus 4, the whole thing, times 3x plus 4. Okay. Similarly, what does the 3x plus, or the left-hand side fraction have as a denominator that the right one doesn't? And that would be x minus 3. So if you multiply by x minus 3 right here, which remember, x minus 3 over x minus 3 is 1. You're just multiplying by a really ugly version of 1. Now you're just going to do what we in the olden days called FOIL. We call it distribution now, but it's essentially the same thing. I'm going to do the first, which is 6x squared, outer, which is plus 3x, inner, which is plus 8x, and the last, which is plus 4. I'm not going to put in parentheses, plus first, which is x squared, outer, which is minus 3x, inner, which is minus 2x, and last, which is plus 6. All over, now keep in mind, now I have common denominators, so I only have to multiply the 3x plus 4 times the x minus 3 one time. So the first would be 3x squared, outer would be minus 9x, inner would be plus 4x, and last, which would be minus 12. So now it's just a matter of collecting like terms and rewriting this. So I've got a 6x squared in the numerator and a 1x squared in the numerator, which means I have 7x squareds. Then I have a positive 3x and a minus 3x. That's awesome. Don't have to worry about that because they'll cancel. Then I've got a positive 8x and a minus 2x, which gives me plus 6x. And then last, I've got a plus 4 and a plus 6, which makes plus 10, which now is over, I'm going to collect like terms in the denominator now, which is over 3x squared minus 5x minus 12. It is possible, you know, it's sort of like in doing all this, you've sort of unfolded a map. It is possible that these could refactor and cancel, but I'm going to look and see if I see that. Okay, yeah, B is the answer. I will tell you that if you get lost on these, you know, pick a random number for X, plug it into the original problem, do the same thing for A, B, C, and D. The one that yields the same answer as the original problem in your calculator is the one that is correct.